So I'd like to welcome Mary Brathwaite Philip. Marie is a retired administrator with a lengthy leadership career with HRA. Marie worked in leadership with HRA for over 25 years, which is an extraordinary feat, Marie. It's amazing. And I know you're also active now, right? Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing now?
Good afternoon, Amara, and thank you so much for having me and for doing this. Just one correction, I worked as an administrator at HRA for over 15 years, and actually the bulk of my career has been overall 40 years, but it's been with private sector for 24 years as well. So that's where I was able to, also meet some wonderful people along the way. So now, as a retiree, I am still adjusting because it does take time to do that. But I've also been able to maintain a number of the relationships that I've built over the years in my career. And so I am honing that in now and looking specifically at working around issues of systemic and institutionalized racism within our helping systems. I think that's just an issue today. It's always been an issue, but I think we have even a greater opportunity to do more, to have our voices heard, and not just heard, but to really move the work forward, because it's not about completing it. It's about consistently working at this issue, which will benefit all of us and generations to come.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That's absolutely terrific, Maria. And it's so incredibly necessary. I love that you are putting your time and your energy into that. So, Maria, I wanted to ask you, so I know that you have, done some work with Mary's concept, creating your virtual personal board of directors. And I just want to ask you a couple of questions about that. So the first question is, what was that process like for you to form a virtual personal board of directors?
Mary, it's just fascinating. We know how brilliant Mary is. And
Absolutely.
For most of us that have worked with her, what I was able to clearly establish was that this was a process that we've been doing in many ways. And what Mary did was really consolidate a lot of the concepts and the principles and the overall purpose, which is to connect people. And Mary is a connector. And she really took that and put it in this fabulous tool book. That's what I refer to it as, that helped me. I know along the way. I had been doing it before Mary's book was published, because she had been talking about it. And she had been sharing a lot of those concepts and principles with the people that she worked with, and actively did this work. So we saw her model it in many ways. And that process was one that I was able to adapt and apply to my life. And in some ways, without knowing that that's what it was called, we passed it on in other ways as well. So the process was not difficult. Let's put it that way. It wasn't difficult because it was something that we were already practicing along the way.
Terrific, terrific. So it sounds like it was like an easy transition for you because you were already doing some of that and working with her and seeing some of that already, that you were able to see and then do for yourself. I think that's amazing.
Right. I wouldn't say that the work is easy though.
Right, no.
I wouldn't say it's easy, but it wasn't something that was foreign. It wasn't something
you kind of slid into it.
Out of my reality that it would demand, energy that would be even harder to make it happen. No, it actually made sense.
Terrific. Did anything surprise you about your virtual personal board of directors?
I think, I don't know if I would say surprised, though I get the element of that. But I think what became clear was that in so many ways, it was an enhancement of relationships already established. It wasn't, as though we had to go out and find new people. It was really looking at your existing network, your support system, and using that differently, which was, that was what made it sort of, it was more fulfilling that way, because it didn't feel like work that you just had to, that was new and that you had to keep. It just made it just building up relationships that we had already had in some way, even if they weren't deep relationships. But, just calling someone and saying, I know that you did this, or that you're an expert in this, and I just want to tap on your expertise and give them more of the, the circumstances and the purpose, and that they were more than willing to lend that expertise. Even if it was just a one-time thing, as Mary talks about, more task-oriented relationship, or if it was something that would be ongoing, that's fine. But you didn't have to feel as though it was, like, oh, I can't do this because it's going to require X, Y, and Z. It could just be a one-time thing.
Right. So like you said, a terrific way to expand your network, right?
Right. And with purpose.
Yeah. How has having a virtual personal board of directors impacted your career?
I would say it truly impacted it in terms of being able to utilize those relationships as resources outside of my immediate positions. That really, it really enriched my tools and my resources and my options in my career. I didn't feel as though I just had to stay in the entity I was in. I could actually utilize these other, these board of directors to bounce things off of, to access other options and resources that maybe my agency didn't have, that really enriched my work. So along the way, it made a great difference. And then you're able to build on it as you go.
Yeah, that's great. And would you say that it has impacted your professional decision-making process? And if so, how?
I would say that yes, it has. That the greatest thing for me about the decision-making process is that it would allow me to think more creatively. Because I had these other options. I wasn't just working from, the box that I was in, so to speak, that I could look at other things outside of that. And so, it helped me to just build my sense of options and the reality of what I could do. And it just, it just really made it more grounded in terms of saying that, well, you have things you can go to, you have people that you can bring into your situation, as well as you having access to them, that you can bring them into your world. You can invite them in, be it consultants, trainers, you can offer opportunities to your virtual board of directors as well. It's, it's definitely a two-way street.
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So, Mary's book, Creative Mentorship and Career Building Strategies, How to Build Your Virtual Personal Board of Directors, has been just incredibly impactful for so many professionals. And I'm just wondering, for you, if you had to choose one piece of learning or one piece of the material or information, or just something that really impacted you from the book, what would you say it was?
I consider myself, and I've certainly been told, as a visionary. So in many ways, it enabled me to use that strength to really build this incredible supportive network. And so it fit me. It really fit for me because, again, it allowed me to think, okay, I don't just have to use the resources that I have within the entity I'm in, I can really, and it's something that I easily do in terms of visualizing, oh, I could do this, I could do that, I could bring this, there's just so many possibilities. And it really sanctioned that for me, and made it, just made it real and made it viable, and just such an enriching process because I could really validate this visionary, creative board. It didn't have to be these concrete individuals sitting at a table or a traditional mentoring relationship where you do have to put a lot of work into setting that up, establishing it. It could really be, it had all of these flexibilities to it, all of these adaptive ways of doing this. And what I really liked as well is that, the concept, as well as Mary's book, because, it's not something you read from cover to cover, it's something you use. And it really fits as you're evolving in your career or whatever it is you're doing, whatever I'm doing, that I can still I can reference it. I can still use it across the span. It's not something that's time limited. So I think that was, to me, that's what made it just really innovative and useful.
That's absolutely terrific. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Just to thank Mary. I think that would be, I just thank her for her brilliance, her light and the gift that she has to bring people together and to give them access to each other and utilize all of our gifts to build and to extend and share and, make a difference. So I think that would be the gratitude that I'd have to her and to so many that I've met along the way.
Terrific, terrific. Well, Marie Brathwaite Philip, you are just an honor to speak to as always. Thank you so much for this. I greatly appreciate this. Okay.
You are so welcome, Sarah, and continue to do your great work.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.